Welcome to episode 12 of the Powerskateshow podcast series. We are with Grant Flood from Flood Sports Zone as our co-host, and welcome to the show, Jack Morgan. Jack, thanks for coming out today.
Hey, glad to be here. Just love hockey. I'm glad to talk hockey with my guys.
Yeah. Grant, would you like to do your intro?
Or with the
Sure,
boys.
with everyone. I'm Grant Flood from Fletcher Sports Zoning. Yes, another edition of the Powerskate Show, bringing it to you every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So make sure you always set your alarms. But yeah, we got Jack Morgan from the Golden Hour. He always does a good job on that show. And yeah, let's see if I'm sure he'll do a good job tonight as well. So let's get into it.
Very excited.
All right.
Introduce yourself.
I realized
All right,
I
let's
should
get
have
this party started.
Yeah, I realized I should have said boys instead of guys. I got to remember I'm in a hockey environment. Good job, boys. You gotta say boys. Very big part of hockey.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right. Let's get this party started, shall we? All right. First player from the San Jose Sharks, Melker Karlsson, 25 years of age. He's a center at $2 million per year. Will he re-sign with San Jose? Yes or no? Graham, would you like to start? Melker Karlsson.
Sure. I could see the Sharks re-signing him for another 2-3 year deal. Fantastic depth piece. Pretty much a third liner, maybe second liner, since, Thomas Hertl and Logan Couture are pretty injury prone. But I think overall he is very good, very productive for what the player he is. They're not paying him a whole lot either. I think he is definitely worthy of getting another year or two under his belt for sure.
Jack?
Quite honestly, I do think that the Sharks will resign him. He is a very valuable player, very valuable also to have that experience on the team, and it should be, even though he is 29, any experience you can get, as you know, the Sharks are going to have to go down, rebuild very soon. So keeping that guy around, kind of keeping the boys engaged in the locker room, I feel like Sharks will be wise to sign him.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of tough for me. I might not see him re-sign with San Jose. I think what they're doing is they might do like a sign and trade. I kind of see him go to Florida. If Brian Boyle does not resign, which we will get into that pretty much. Probably see him go to Philadelphia, or maybe head back to, or maybe go to Anaheim. Like there's a lot of choices for Melker, going anywhere. But if I make my final answer, I would say he will re-sign with San Jose. If anything happens to their roster, I would see him re-sign. Yeah. Speaking of Brian Boyle, I'm going all over the place. He played 39 games. He signed late in the season. He's a center, 35 years of age, at $940,000. Will he resign with Florida? Jack, would you like to start?
How much is he making?
$940,000 because he signed late in the season.
That's not a bad price. And yes, so yeah, he's a free agent this year. He is 35 years old. He will eventually be on the decline. That is fair to assume. 6 goals, 9 assists this year, total of 15 points. I think that with the limited amount of games able to put up that production, I think Panthers, if they do have enough space, and they do, and of course they had, they have that Bobrovsky contract. If they have enough space, I feel like near the end of the offseason, he could be a late re-sign for the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, Grant? Yeah, I agree. He's 35, but, very big frame, 6'6", 245, and, pretty much playing on the third line at this point. The fact that he was still able to put up 15 points in just 39 games for him, That's still pretty impressive. I know Brian Boyle, isn't the player once was, when he played with the Rangers a few years ago. He's definitely slowed down a little bit statistically, but I think overall he's still a great depth piece. And, if I was Florida, especially for this playoff run and for maybe even upcoming playoff runs for the next year or two, I'd re-sign him.
Yeah, I would definitely re-sign him if I was the GM of the Florida Panthers in Dale Talon. Because Brian Boyle has a great NHL career. He has great experiences putting up in good teams. We saw him have a great season with his time in New Jersey, like in his cancer year. Won the Bill Masterton. Mm-hmm. And traded to Nashville last season, which showed progress a bit. Toronto before. If I would choose, I would have him re-sign with Florida. I don't see him go anywhere. All right, next we got Grant. I'll let you start with that. Trevor Lewis from the Los Angeles Kings. He's a center, 33 years of age, at $2 million per year. Will he re-sign with the LA Kings? Trevor Lewis. Grant, would you like to start?
Absolutely. Trevor Lewis is actually who I have going to the Sabres in my Jack Eichel to the Kings mock draft, actually. So I think they should re-sign him regardless, whether that happens or not, because let's be real, that's probably not going to happen. But, it's interesting because Trevor Lewis, he's a good depth piece. Yes, he's probably going to hit the decline in a couple of years. I just would only give him a 1-2 year deal. I know the Kings are notorious for giving out horrendous, for no good reason contracts. They're not going to do that with Trevor Lewis. They're going to give him a 1-2 year deal. Easy as that. He's been a fantastic third liner since, when the Kings were winning cups back in the early 2010s pretty much. He's just been a staple on that Kings third line, and I just don't see that changing.
Jack?
Yeah, I do agree with Grant. He had 6 goals, 6 assists last year. Only 56 games played, and you're saying, like Grant was saying, he was playing on the third line and averaging only 11 minutes and 54 seconds on ice per game. So putting up that production, that's pretty good, and I think that's good enough to, like Grant said, get him another 1 or 2 year deal. Not a lot of money, but it'll be enough money to have him accept and stick around for a year or two.
Yeah, I think Trevor Lewis might not re-sign with the LA Kings because you're going for a second overall to take Quentin Byfield. Byfield is a center, and Trevor Lewis is a center. So once they take Byfield, I think Lewis is gonna lose a spot. Might not be in a fourth line role because you might not have room on anywhere. Which we will talk about Trevor Lewis in our future podcasts, as far as I'm gonna concern pretty soon. I kind of see him go to Vancouver or Pittsburgh to add some more veteran leadership level. We saw Patrick Marleau doing that, Chris Letang doing that. Lots of players I'm missing who are over the age of 35, like Trevor Lewis. Trevor Lewis. I think I see him go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because the Penguins totally need another solid third or fourth liner.
I know, right? I'm getting tired of seeing the Penguins get all that strength on the offense. I mean, the Flyers, they have a solid depth, but not as good as the Penguins. I mean, the Penguins are just ridiculous. I mean, they're a tough team to beat no matter what.
They're just loaded up for the playoffs. It's going to be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah. Our next one we got from the Vegas Golden Knights, John Merrill. I did not know that he ever existed in the league. 49 games.
Oh no, I know because he played on the Devils before the Knights picked him up in the expansion draft.
Yeah. He's 28 years old. 28 years old, defenseman, 49 games played, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points, at $1.375 million per year. Will he re-sign with Vegas? Jack, would you like to start? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd love to. You got John Merrill, of course. Just a little background here. 6'3", 195, which is not a bad build for the NHL level. I mean, it would be fine for offense, but as a defenseman, I mean, a little bit on the thinner side. You see a lot of 200-pounders on the defensive side of things in the NHL. But then, in his stats this year, only 2 goals, 5 assists. But then again, he only played in 49 games. He had 32 penalty minutes, but he did have a +9. He was a +9 and plus minus, it seems. So I feel like, and that just shows you he's he's gonna do stuff and help you out in ways that it won't show up on the stat sheet. So I think it's right for them to at least explore the option of resigning him to a 1 or 2 year contract. In my opinion, be wise for Vegas to do so.
Grant, John Merrill.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Jack. I think a 1 or 2 year deal would be absolutely perfect for John Merrill. Very solid depth piece. You know, you take a look at his stats. He has 7 points. It's not great by any means, but for what he is, you know, show plenty of potential back with the Devils. I know he's been in the Knights for a few years now, but I think overall he is still a stable, you know, third-line defenseman, maybe even second if he really can step up his game. But I agree with Vegas. I definitely think Vegas should resign for another year or two for sure.
Yeah, I don't see him resign with Vegas because you already have Nick Hague in the back end. So I think Nick Hague is going to replace John Merrill's spot. Like I said from Trevor Lewis about Quinton Byfield, if the Kings take Quinton Byfield, I kind of see him go to Ottawa because like John Merrill was like in the league for like 5 years. So like I would need some experienced players. Like he's 28. He's not like 25, which is like young, as we're meaning. Kind of see him go to Toronto.
Replace Cody Ceci.
Yeah. Go back to our past podcasts about Cody Ceci. Kind of see him go to Boston.
Maybe.
If anything happens to their defense. And lastly, I kind of see him go to I'm going to throw up a surprise one. Arizona. Because, like, Arizona has Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Jacob Chikrin. Like these guys like that. I think once you have John Merrill, I think that you're going to have a solid D-core D department in the Coyotes organization.
Yeah, they already do. I mean, saying John Merrill just adding fuel to the fire, absolutely. Just keep on building on that defense for sure.
Yeah. All right, last one. Brendan Leipzig. Huh? No, nope. Not Brendan Leipzig.
Nope.
Well, he already is in the
guy.
game.
That guy ain't coming back for a little bit.
All right. Jesper Foss from the New York Rangers. He's a right wing, 28 years of age, $1.85 million per year. Will he resign with the New York Rangers? Grant, would you like to start? Jesper Foss.
Sure. Yeah, Jesper Foss. He's been on the Rangers literally forever. I'm kind of shocked he's 28. I thought he was way older, but yeah, I think the Rangers should resign him. Absolutely, like he's basically Trevor Lewis for the Rangers, pretty much. You know, just been the third line pretty much for his career, but he consistently puts up great numbers. I think he's going to have a pretty good playoffs this year as well, as he has the experience. He is a leader. He's pretty small, but he's pretty quick as well, which is what the Rangers need, you know, at that speed, especially on those lower lines. So I would imagine Jesper Foss would resign with the Rangers. I'd probably say a 2 or 3 year deal.
Jack?
Quite honestly, yeah, I don't imagine the Rangers aren't able to get Foss back and at a cheap price. I mean, just listen to this. And he played all 69 games, 12 goals, 17 assists. That accumulates to 29 points. What shocks me is that he has a plus-minus of +16. That's pretty dang good. He also
Wow.
has 84 shots on the year, and his shooting percentage 14%. I mean, that's pretty good. And I mean, he's getting all those shots on net. He's playing well. He's helping out his team. I think Jesper Fosco is really underrated in the world of hockey. So I think that he'll come back. He'll be back. You'll see him in a Rangers uniform again. I want him on the Flyers, though, quite honestly, if he's getting all those shots off. There's games the Flyers can't get shots for crud. It's unreal.
Yeah. I definitely see him go to the New York Rangers and Jesper Fos. He's their alternate captain. I kind of see him go to Nashville so that he can help Philip Forsberg, Matt Duchene, Ryan Johansson. Foss can be their bomb line or their third line as a left wing or a right wing. If not, I kind of see him go to Montreal or probably Washington. Because Washington, you have Garnet Hathaway as your bottom line right wing. Richard Panik. I think Panik is going to get traded. But we will talk about Richard Panik later on, maybe today if I want to pull something up, or maybe in the future podcasts. If Brian McClellan touches Panik, then I think you will see Jesper Fos take Panik's spot. If I would have my final answer, I would say Fos will re-sign with the New York Rangers.
I thought you were going to say Fast should go to the Capitals to replace Leipzig.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean,
that'd be
Yeah. All right. It's time for our topics. A lot of trade rumors that we've seen over the past week or so, or past week. So I think I can start the topics. There are rumors about Radko Gudas heading to Toronto. Any thoughts about Gudas to Toronto for the trade rumor?
Depends on what they get. Depends on what they get. The Flyers ripped off the Capitals in the Gudas trade. I mean, they swapped Gudas for Niskanen. I'm loving Niskanen over here in Philly. I mean, there's nothing not hating any minute of it. Niskanen playing very well for Flyers. He was close. I thought he would get into double digits in goals. Have to check that out, but I do believe he was doing very well. And then Gudas on Gudas' side, Gudas is a player that is really just a spark plug for your team. He can get into fights, even though his archetype is really a lost art in the NHL today. And that is really the scrapper, the goon. I mean, I know I went to a game once when Radko Gudas got into a fight. 5 seconds in, I forget who it was. Superman punches him, jumps in the air, Superman punches him, he goes down. Gudas is very unpredictable. Therefore, being an unpredictable move going to Toronto, I mean, I think that it would be very, it'd be beneficial for Toronto. Just the Capitals probably want to get him off the team. No Capitals fan that I've spoken to likes Gudas on their team, quite honestly.
Grant, Gudas to Toronto.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rico Gudas will probably end up going to Toronto. Well, maybe not will, but he's definitely not staying with the Capitals. I would imagine definitely the Maple Leafs will be one of the front runners for sure. I mean, they could certainly use some help on defense. As we all know, Cody Cece's terrible. We don't know if Tyson Barrie's coming back next year. A whole lot of question marks for Toronto. So, I would imagine that, Rico Gudas will probably sign with the Maple Leafs for a 2-year deal if this was to happen. A very, physical presence on the defense. I mean, that's what kind of Toronto needs. They already have a scrappy bottom six, but they really have no defenseman who wants to get into fights really. And I think obviously Gudas would definitely bring that presence. So I would say, I think Rico Gudas definitely has a good chance of going to Toronto.
Yeah, I see him go to Toronto because I don't see him re-sign or stay with the Capitals.
Yeah.
Because you have players in Hershey that are NHL ready. Like you have like players that are like waiting, that are like next in line. Like Tyler Lewington is gonna like be prepared to be in the NHL. Like if Dylan and Gudas does not resign, you would see Alexiev, Faravari, Lucas Johansson. Lucas Johansson is terrible in Hershey. What am I saying? Alexiev, Faravari, and Lewington. I think these are your three guys who have NHL potential. That's pretty much it. Like just like the three guys that are like NHL, NHL regulars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think Gudas is going to be like done in Washington.
I would say, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Would you like to point out some topics, Grant, for trade rumors?
Sure. Well, before we get back to the rumors, don't worry, there are plenty. I just want to quickly read off the NHL return dates real quick. July 13th is Phase 3, which means training camps open. July 26th is where teams report to their hub cities, which we do know now will be Edmonton and Toronto. That's very interesting. And then Phase 4 will begin August 1st, where the games will be played. August 10th, once the series are over, we're going to have Phase 2 of the draft lottery. Who is going to win that? That is going to be very interesting. I can't wait.
Very interesting already. The placeholder one.
I know.
Placeholder one, and now we have no clue who the hell has a first pick.
I know.
Very
A lot of people saying Columbus. I don't know. It's pretty much the Blue Jackets, but
I'm
Grant,
interested.
Grant, get this. If Pittsburgh takes the first overall, I'm going to go Steve Dangle on the podcast.
okay. If Pittsburgh gets the first overall pick, you will see me cry. Anyway, early October is when we're supposed to play the Stanley Cup Finals. And then mid-October will be the actual NHL draft, and then November 1st is where free agency will begin. So interesting stuff there.
Yeah, I think we should do a free agency live stream for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking if that's not on a school day, absolutely.
Guys could definitely go for like 3 hours.
Oh, it's on Sunday? Oh, epic! Yeah. Thank God, hook me up. We'll do it.
Yeah.
But that's definitely
rumors, I guess. I kind of want to get an actual rumor in here as well. Taylor Hall to the Avalanche. I know there's no way it's going to happen. And I don't believe it'll happen, but based off of some sources I've seen, it might actually happen. Let me just put it to you this way. The Avalanche would be absolutely broken. Like, they would be legit, like, this was NHL 20, they'd all be 99 overalls. Like, they would be near unbeatable if Taylor Hall joined the Avalanche. With already such a young, solid defensive core, over. Avalanche.
NHL 20.
They're gonna be like a Detroit dynasty.
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely.
Or the Oilers dynasty with
I'd be done.
Curry and Fear. All these guys.
Oh, yeah,
I know.
That would not be good.
That would be absolutely incredible. I don't think it will happen. I don't think Taylor Hall's going to stay in Arizona. I don't think he'll go to Colorado. But if that does actually happen, though, watch out the rest of the NHL. Hide your goalie.
Yeah. And speaking of Colorado, I'm going to say to Avalanche, Colorado Avalanche prospect defenseman Bowen Byram could make the roster for the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs. One of their top prospects, whose potential is like Cale Makar.
Wow.
You will have Makar, Zadorov, Graves, Gerard, Cole, and Byram or Timmins. How about that decor, guys? Like,
that'd be ridiculous. I mean, he's only taken 12 penalty minutes. Makar on the year. He's 12 goals, 38 assists. He's got a plus 12. And only taking 12 penalty minutes. I mean, that's pretty big in 57 games.
Like, you're doing something right if you've only spent 12 minutes in the box. You're doing something right.
I know, right? He got.
I think he took 2 fights, I believe, but I'm not sure if he had fights.
Yeah, 2 fights and a tripping penalty. Yeah, there's
right.
my 4 minutes.
So,
yeah,
Grant,
but I know, really, it's just incredible how disciplined the Avalanche really are. It's like I think they're going to be scary during this playoff run, and like I said, you just add Taylor Hall to that. Looking, man,
Or maybe a 2-10. Maybe a 2-10 is adds up to 12 minutes for his 12-minute penalty minutes. I don't know.
Perhaps.
What I do know is that that is a guy you definitely want in your defensive core. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and speaking of Colorado as well, Vlad Nemestikov to Toronto. So, Jack, what do you think, Nemestikov?
To Toronto. God dang. I mean, he's on the Avalanche right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nemestikov to Toronto. Now, in terms of what it would take, really, I don't know. I mean, I think that's a possibility. It would take a little bit to get Nemestikov. Maybe, I mean, he is 27 years old. I mean, it probably, I mean, maybe the Avalanche, if they do trade him, maybe they do want some veteran presence for a cup run, I'd say. I think that's the only way Nemestikov goes out of Colorado.
I could see Nemestikov going to the Maple Leafs, kinda. Not really, but I can sort of see it. I'm thinking, I don't really know what Colorado would want in return. I'm thinking they maybe want Adam Kerfoot to make his return to Colorado, perhaps. Really, outside of that, I just really don't know if there's really like a piece that the Maple Leafs should really want to trade for him. That's just me.
Yeah. And last trade rumor for Toronto, I think this is a projected one. Alex Pietrangelo to Toronto. I think
trade rumor.
Get this. I think the decor is going to be fantastic. Morgan Riley. Who's that dude? Jake Muzzin.
Tyson Barrie, if he stays.
Barrie, maybe. Justin Hall, Rasmus Sandin, Tim Liljegren.
Travis Dermott, he's young and up and coming. Travis Dermott.
Dermott, CC to the AHL or he gets waived. I think that's going to be interesting. Because I think they will definitely solve their defense.
Look, I'll just put it this way. I have said before, and I'll say it again. I think Pietrangelo is re-signing with St. Louis. If he's going to go anywhere, it'll probably be either Washington or
I'm crying. Pack my bags. I'm going to St. Louis. I mean, Petrangelo's going to St. Louis. Washington, sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, no, I think I'm pretty sure I said it before when you brought him up. I'm like, Pietrangelo, he's staying in St. Louis, and nothing's really gonna change my mind. I mean, there could certainly be some sort of blockbuster trade, absolutely. Like I think, Calgary wanted someone like Pietrangelo. Like they would trade away perhaps someone like perhaps like Johnny Gaudreau or maybe some smaller piece and like a second, round pick for Pietrangelo, like straight up. I think something like a trade like that could maybe work. But I think overall, the Blues are not going to let Pietrangelo just walk in free agency. I just don't see it happening. We're going to get a massive deal.
Yeah. So any topics you would like to point out, Grant, or that's just it?
Sure. No, I definitely have some more topics. Actually, let me pull this up on my phone real quick. I stumbled upon some potential Jack Eichel trades. So, maybe we can rate those, I suppose. Hold up here. Let me pull that up. And then, we can get going here. But there was a couple interesting ones. Some of them I didn't agree with, but also some of them I felt like were pretty decent. And I know Jack's going to like this one. So the Flyers get Jack Eichel straight up, but the Sabres get, and I think this is a bit of an overpayment, but Shane Gostisbehere, Sean Couturier in a 2021 overpayment. But
whoa, take out Coots. Oh my God. Trading Couturier would really hurt that team.
I know. I was about to
It
say
would hurt
I think
them.
we
That
got
would not
I
be
think
good.
maybe Goss's spare in the 2021st. I think that would certainly be way more of a
Spare in
fair
the
trade.
2021st. Spare needs to change the scenery. He
Yeah,
could be great. He
you
just
know,
needs to
he
change
would
the
really
scenery.
do well on a struggling Sabres team, who just has an
Oh,
atrocious
yeah,
defense pretty much.
make him look pretty dang good.
Like Gossip there got waived like a couple months ago, like this year. But like
he has been injury prone though. Maybe that's why. But
he's just he was playing awful. I witnessed it. He just he was awful on the power play, and he's supposed to excel on the power play, and he's just not been doing good. And I would give him a D. He's been awful. I mean, unfortunately, that's the case.
yeah.
all right, I know what you guys are thinking now. How about Buffalo to Edmonton? Getting
Oh,
absolutely
boy.
wild here. Like I
Yeah.
said, I had a
I think we lost him.
Yeah. Yeah, like if he gets kicked out, I think it's gonna be an insane roster because you got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, and then he put in that. I mean, he put in Jack Eichel on that first liner. Even he might you got to demote someone to the second line. That's going to be a hard decision. And well, the only thing that would be the problem there is managing the egos. So Eichel's number one guy in Buffalo. You'd have to see how he does. Being the number two, number three guy, really in
oh, okay.
it had two Grants right there. We had Frozen Grant. It pretty much was like the same image too.
Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know why I lost connection. But yeah, no, that trade with Edmonton. So Jack Eichel goes straight up to the Oilers and the Sabres get Nugent Hopkins, a 2020 first, a 2021 second, Andres Ethan to CU. And I think that trade's definitely more doable than what the Flyers might be asking for. But I don't know. What do you guys think of that trade?
Get rid of Nugent Hopkins. Eichel for FNCU first, second round picks. I think
the Sabres would probably want more. I think they would really need Hopkins in that trade for that to go through. But overall, I don't know. That one's at least more of an even trade compared to the Flyers one, I'd say. Then the foul trade, we have the Hurricanes picking up Eichel, and the Sabres get Nino Niederreiter, a 2021st, and Vincent Trocheck. That would absolutely destroy Carolina, but that trade is also
that's not good.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is just overkill for that. So.
Operation
there's some over-the-top Jack Eichel rumors I found.
I actually found one. I actually found one. Eichel to Boston. I think Grant is gonna flip out when that happens.
Wow,
yes, I will pull Austin Matthews as a Leaf on the stream if that happens. To be like, Jack Eichel is a Bruin. Pretty much.
That'll not be fun. I don't know. I'd have
the Bruins would practically be like the Avalanche.
I think Eichel's gonna fall in love with the Bruins if that ever happens.
I'll just make up a quick Jack Eichel to Boston trade right now. I would say Torrey Krug, a first and a third for 2020 for Eichel straight up. I think that is a pretty fair trade because we don't know if Krug's going to re-sign or not. And the first and third, you obviously need that for such a star player like Eichel. What do you guys think of that trade?
That's interesting. It's an interesting proposal.
We actually got some breaking news that happened 5 minutes ago. Lindy Ruff is hired to the New Jersey Devils.
Wow.
So what are your guys' thoughts that just happened like two seconds ago? It's on hockey coverage, Grant.
Next head coach. Wow.
Yeah, no, he's a very good head coach. Yeah, I like what he's done, especially with the Rangers. Felt like he did a good job there. So sure, I think this could certainly work.
I was saying like
He has 736 career wins. He guided the Buffalo Sabres to the Stanley Cup final in 88-89. I mean, he's got some mileage in this league, and experience is key. I think that's a good signing by the New Jersey Devils.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that should do nothing but also boost up Mackenzie Blackwood's confidence because after this year, boy, that is at like an absolute low. So I think good coaching and New Jersey's almost there. I know they were terrible this year, but I feel like they're just almost there. In a couple years, I feel like they really could go back to that playoff team they were in 2018.
Yeah,
they really work on their defense. But yeah, I mean, hiring Lindy Ruff's only just going to make this easier for the long-term solution.
yeah. New Jersey should have been the team to go after Gerard Gallant.
I was thinking that. The second time, like, Lindy Ruff is a great coach, but, like, you could have gotten Gerard Gallant. I was thinking the same thing.
Because he's next in line. Like who's going to take, like, Toronto or Ottawa? Who knows? Like, we will find that out. I actually do not have any topics. All right. So according to the
maybe I got more stuff. Hold up. I think I actually have some more stuff. Yeah. Brent Burns and Matt Murray might be selected by the Seattle franchise coming out in 2022. It looks like now. What do you guys think of that? They for their picks from the Penguins and Sharks, Burns and Murray. I think that would be huge. They're trying to do what the Knights did, and that'd be wicked smart. What do you guys think?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, first I want to say is like taking like Matt Murray and Brent Burns to that lineup. I think that you're gonna have a Vegas Golden Knights formula level because you're technically gonna grab some big names. As I'm looking, like once you take like Matt Murray, I don't know who's gonna be like your backup. Like whoever's like next on the list, like Jordan Binnington, Raz Kalak, who knows? Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good boost. Because like Burns needs to be in a team that will have a good franchise like Vegas is having so far, like 3 straight playoff appearances in their existence. Will that be the same thing? Who knows? So
yeah, I mean, like I know Burns at that point is going to be like pretty much a fossil on defense, but you still have Matt Murray. He'll still be in like his early 30s at this point. I definitely think getting Murray is definitely the smartest move here. Burns is going to be interesting depending on his age, and especially we'll see how he does in San Jose next year. Brent Burns is my biggest question mark there. But overall, I mean, you might as well pick up these guys who have veteran leaderships, especially if you want to take like Vegas where not the players you get were over 30, but then also the other half was like pretty much under 25 or, in that 25-year-old range. So it'll certainly be interesting. I think all in all, if they make these 2 picks, I think it'll gel for sure.
Yeah. Another thing is related to attendances, and then once we're done with that, then we will do our 5 favorite centers on our list. Rangers rookies Adam Fox and Kaapo Kakko could be forced to sit out in the playoffs.
Oh boy.
What are you guys' thoughts if that ever happens?
I don't think that's going to benefit them.
Why would they have to sit out?
Injury? I don't know. That's
because Adam Fox is good at defensively. Look at his stats. Like he's close to a 50-point season as a rookie. and like, well, like yes, like Capo Caco had like 20-something points, but like it's all about development. Like no, for like Kako and Jack Hughes. Well, like talking about Jack Hughes is a different story. Those two had like 20 points. They are developing. They're like kids. Both of them are like 19 and 20. Well, like both of them are 19. They need some like learning to in the NHL level. Like
absolutely.
Like no one isn't gonna be like Connor McDavid or Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, Ovechkin, and Crosby. Like that's rare. You don't see that very often. So I do not know why that they want to kick off Kako and Fox. It's just like let them have some playoff experiences.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was thinking. You know, like why would they bench him? You know, they have these two extremely young players. The Rangers do look like they're heading for definitely another playoff run, probably next year, and definitely within the next couple of years. Like, wow, you really bench these guys? It's like you have nothing to lose this year if you're the Rangers. Of course, you're not even supposed to be in the playoffs. You just got lucky because of the whole 2014 format. Take this as a learning curve. Of course, try to win the cup. Don't get me wrong. But you also should take this as a learning curve, and just benching your two pretty much brightest stars. You don't do that if you're the Rangers coach. Vigneault, you don't do it.
Yeah. And last one, Habs forward Max Domi could be forced to sell in the 2020 playoffs. What are you guys' thoughts if that ever happens? Domi being scratched for the whole playoffs.
I think that would pretty much be a death blow to the Canadian second line, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah. So, Jack, what do you think if Domi will be scratched for the whole playoffs?
I mean, quite honestly, I don't know why they would. I mean, you get experience. You know, I mean, you get experience. I don't know where the reason is to sit on. I mean, you get experience. Weren't supposed to be in it, so use it as an added bonus. In my opinion, that would be the smart way to use it.
I think Jack typed something in our chat.
Yeah, I do.
Jack, you need to go. That is no problem at all. We really appreciate you stopping by. Make sure at the conclusion of this stream, make sure you go check out the Golden Hour for sure. After the end of the
thanks for having me, guys.
All right, you take care.
We'd love to have you back on. We appreciate it.
God bless.
Okay. All right.
Well, back to us.
All right.
Well, actually, before we get into anything else, or do you have any other topics?
Yeah. I actually want to point out two more. There are rumors about Henrik Lundqvist could be moved out of the New York Rangers organization. So if that happens, who do you think? Who should he go at?
I would say the Capitals, but that would just break the Rangers' heart. Maybe
I wouldn't mind. Like
maybe Buffalo, but again, that would also break the Rangers' heart. I don't know, really. I just think Lundqvist is gonna stay as a Ranger. He's gonna retire, whether you're tied to the end of this year, stays another year or two. He's either gonna go to a Western Conference team who can, like the Avalanche, who can win a Stanley Cup. Although the Avalanche definitely don't need another goalie, or maybe somewhere like Dallas, like a team who's just in like win now mode, and they're like, all right, we could basically do what the Bruins did to Rangers, like Lundqvist again, trade to a contender. You're gonna hopefully win a cup, and you can retire in the sunlight, pretty much. But I think maybe Dallas. I guess it would be less heartbreaking for the Rangers fans and be a great backup for Bishop. Absolutely.
Yeah, I kind of see him go to St. Louis because Jake Allen, excuse me, has not played a lot.
Yeah, he's not great.
He's now a backup role. So I think once you take Binnington and Lundqvist, I think that's a goaltending duo for sure. One more, and then we can do our centers.
All right.
Alexander Georgiev could be. There are rumors about Alexander Georgiev being traded in the offseason. So if that happens, which of the teams that he should play for?
Wait, what position is he again?
Alexander Georgiev from the Rangers.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe the Kings boost up that youngin, I guess. I don't know. Build a younger core for the future. Maybe the Kings, maybe the Ducks. I don't know. The Sharks.
Yeah.
Some team out west who can use a young player.
Yeah, I kind of see him go to Florida. Well, you can't do Florida because like you have Montembeault and Spencer Knight coming in. Probably Nashville because I think Pecorine is coming to an end. Maybe what's the team that I'm thinking? The Islanders.
Yeah, go back up there.
Yeah. One more, I think I'm going back west. I'm gonna go with Calgary.
That too, yeah, I could certainly see Calgary.
Yeah. All right. So I guess it's
your sense because I actually just realized there's actually been quite a bit of Blackhawks news. Well, not quite a bit, but a little.
I was saying like we can talk about it if you want.
All right, sounds good. Well, the thing I'm not going to get into really, but this is a quick statement. The Blackhawks do not plan on changing their name. They're not the Redskins. They're not the Indians. It looks like they're keeping their name, which is good. All right, yeah. The other Blackhawks news I want to mention, the Blackhawks are planning on re-signing left winger Dominic Kubalik to a 4-year deal. This would do nothing but help them out for the long run. He is a fantastic youngin for the Blackhawks. I think he is pretty much ready to take over that first line in a couple years. What do you think of this move if they were to sign it?
So on Puck Empire, which is the second news that I get, I heard that they might have him. Sorry, I'm not gonna be quiet. I'm just trying to find it. I think I saw him be having like $5 or $6 million a year, or maybe like salary and all. God, where is it? I'm not gonna like waste time doing it.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I think Kubalik is obviously gonna stay in the organization because how well he is. I think that Chicago has a bright future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and we also got another breaking news. So the Florida Panthers has announced that that they hired Vice President Chris Pronger to their organization. That just happened 5 hours ago. So what are your thoughts? Pronger to the Florida Panthers.
You know, it's interesting because I thought actually when I was researching about Pronger and I was writing my TechMall article on him about a month ago when we talked about the Blues retiring his number, you know, he already worked for the Panthers organization. I think this is just a bigger role, but he already actually worked for the Panthers before then. So, you know, Panthers, they've done a nice job. They built a playoff team down there, and they built an entertaining young team. So, you know what? I think this is a good move if they want to certainly, you know, promote him a little bit. I think there is no problem in doing this at all. Smart move by Florida.
Yeah. All right. It's now time for our top 5 favorite centers. We can do some honorable mentions, like 1 through 3 honorable mentions. So I wasn't being prepared, but I can pull it off. So. So my top 5 favorite centers, I got Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel, Nicholas Backstrom, Evgeny Kuznetsov, and I'm gonna throw a shocker one. Are you ready? Kirby Dach from the Chicago Blackhawks.
The second I brought up Kubalik, I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking like him and Kirby Dash are gonna like light up the league in a few years. I was thinking of Dash when we brought up the Kubalik situation. So yeah, that's pretty cool. He's definitely not my top 5 or even my honorable mentions, but no, he is a very young, very solid player. I can't wait to see what else he does. He's been very good so far.
Yeah, and my honorable mentions, I'm gonna say 2. One, I got I'm thinking Mark Scheifele and Jonathan Toews.
All right. I'll get rid of my honorable mentions first. For my 2 honorable mentions, I guess I'll also do 2. I have Jack Eichel and no, you're just in my head a second ago. No. We'll get back to him. But anyway, my top 5 favorite centers in the NHL currently are all right. Number 5, we have Ryan Getzlaf. Love his leadership. He is definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. He made this man, Corey Perry, pretty good in his prime as well. I have a lot of respect for Ryan Getzlaf, and yeah, he's pretty good. By the way, my other honorable mention was Bo Horvat.
Okay.
Yep. And number 4, I have Tyler Seguin. Loved him on the Bruins. Went over to the Stars. He was still one of my favorite players. Even nowadays, he's still up there, although his production slid down just a little bit. But overall, I think he's still a fantastic player for Dallas. Number 3, I have Patrice Bergeron, of course, living in Massachusetts.
Why did I forget?
Bruins. Hey, listen, I respect Bergeron a lot. I felt like there was many times where the Bruins should have perhaps traded him a few years ago, but Bergeron is just an assist machine. Like, although he does get hurt quite frequently, he is just constantly, up there. He's one of the nicest players in the league on the ice and off. He is just a fantastic leader. He's clutch in the playoffs. He's pretty much everything you want out of an assistant captain.
And future captain, team captain.
Yeah, and future captain when Chara retires in a couple years for sure. All right, number 2, Kings fan, although I'm wearing a Ducks jersey. Don't make sense. We're not getting into it. Anze Kopitar at number 2. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much – outside of Jonathan Quick, he's my all-time favorite Kings player for good reason. He's been the captain for many years, pretty much coming to the league, and I'm pretty sure it was 2003 or 2004. He's just been tearing it up ever since. Future Hall of Famer. I don't think that's crazy to say at all. And, yeah, no, Anze Kopitar, he's just been one of my favorite players to watch and have very fond memories of him, winning the Cups with the Kings back in 2012, 2014. Just a fantastic player and a class act. And then number 1, we have who is actually somewhere in my top 3 favorite players. My friends would know this well. You probably don't. My number 1 player is Nashville Predators center Matt Duchene. He has been absolutely my favorite player when I was really getting into hockey, when he was just tearing it up on the Avalanche. He was my absolute favorite. Ever since I went over to Ottawa and Columbus, kind of I don't know. I think that's when I'd say he's no longer my favorite player now. He's still somewhere in the top 3 or 5. But, he just had a resurgence year with Nashville. I love what he does. I kind of hope Nashville can go far so he can win a cup. And, yeah, he's just my favorite center in the league. And like I said, Jack Eichel and Bo Horvat were my honorable mentions.
Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up for today. Episode 12 in the books. I also want to make a quick announcement. Episode 13, I am unable to be here due to family vacation, but I will make like a video recording appearance that I would be in the podcast for episode 13. And Grant, once again, thanks for having me. And we want to thank Jack Morgan for coming to the show. And with that, if you guys like it, please hit the like button. That's going to make us do more podcast videos in the future. Check out our social medias, Instagram and Twitter at Powerskateshow. Check Grant on Instagram, Flood Sportsman, for daily sports news. Would you like to add anything?
Well, yeah, no. I'm Grant Flood from Flusher Sports Zone. Another fantastic episode here of the Powerskate Show. Keep loving doing the shows here. Fortunately, Alex won't be with us next week. I don't know. Maybe we can get him on a phone call or something. But we have Ben Cruz coming back. on the show. He was awesome the first time we had him on, so he's coming back on next week. And, yeah, looking forward to that. So, hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast, everyone. I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports along with Alex Stossel saying have a good night.